Ambassador Thrixon's four eyes blinked in sequence as she reviewed the battle reports from the Kepler front. The numbers didn't make sense. How could the humans have pushed back the Void Swarm, a force that had consumed 17 star systems in the past cycle, using such primitive tactics? Counselor, her aide whispered, mandibles clicking nervously, the human delegation has arrived for the debriefing. Thrixon straightened her chitinous frame. As head of the Galactic Defense Council, she had overseen military strategies across 800 species for over 2 millennia. She understood calculated warfare, precision strikes, and the mathematical certainties of space combat. What she didn't understand was how humanity had accomplished the impossible. The chamber doors hissed open and 3 humans walked in. Their leader, Admiral Sarah Chen, moved with the easy confidence that had made the Council so uneasy when humanity first joined the galactic community 50 years ago. Behind her walked General Marcus Webb and Dr. Elena Vasquez, the architect of humanity's most controversial weapons. Counselors, Admiral Chen said, offering the brief nod humans called a bow. You requested a full tactical analysis of Operation Wildfire. Indeed, Thrixon replied, her translator rendering her clicks and whistles into standard galactic. Your species was explicitly ordered to maintain defensive positions at the Kepler line. Instead, you... She paused, searching for diplomatic words. You violated every strategic doctrine we've developed over millennia. Admiral Chen's lips curved upward, that unsettling human expression called a smile. You mean we improvised? You call it improvisation, interjected Counselor Vexthor, his crystalline voice ringing with disapproval. We call it reckless endangerment of Allied forces. You launched fighters directly into the swarm's main concentration. You used your own ships as projectile weapons. You even... His form pulsed with indignation. You detonated antimatter charges while your own crews were still aboard. The crews evacuated to shielded sections, General Webb said calmly. We calculated the survival probability at 87%. 87%. Counselor Zeph's gaseous form swirled in agitation. We require 99.6% certainty before authorizing combat operations. Dr. Vasquez stepped forward, her tablet displaying holographic projections. With respect, counselors, your calculated approaches were failing. The Void Swarm doesn't follow your mathematical models because it's not trying to minimize losses. It's trying to maximize consumption. Our reckless tactics worked because they were unpredictable. Thrixon studied the human scientist. Explain your logic. The swarm evolved to counter methodical, predictable strategies. It anticipated fleet movements, analyzed patterns, adapted faster than we could adjust. But chaos? Dr. Vasquez's eyes gleamed. Chaos is humanity's specialty. Admiral Chen activated her own display, showing the battle's progression. When Fighter Squadron 7 ran out of ammunition, they didn't retreat. They used their ships as kinetic weapons, ramming swarm vessels while their pilots ejected at the last second. When the BSS Defiance lost engine power, Captain Morrison didn't await rescue. She rigged the reactor to overload and steered it into the swarm's command cluster. These actions resulted in significant casualties, Thrixon observed. Fewer casualties than retreat would have caused, General Webb replied. Captain Morrison saved 30,000 lives on the colonies behind us. Squadron 7's sacrifice created the gap that let our main force punch through. Counselor Vexthor's crystalline form darkened. You speak of sacrifice as if it were tactical brilliance rather than desperate waste. Is it waste if it works? Admiral Chen asked quietly. You called us reckless when we jury-rigged antimatter torpedoes from mining charges. You called us insane when we used our medical ships as decoys. You said we were throwing away lives when our Marines boarded swarm vessels with nothing but plasma cutters and determination. She gestured to the tactical display, where the red tide of the Void Swarm had been pushed back beyond the Kepler line. But we stopped them, not with your perfect strategies or your calculated certainties. We stopped them because sometimes the impossible is just another word for hasn't been tried yet. Dr. Vasquez added, the swarm's collective intelligence is vast, but it thinks like you do, in patterns, probabilities, logical progressions. It couldn't predict humans because we don't always make the logical choice. We make the necessary choice. Thrixon was quiet for a long moment, her four eyes studying the humans. Your species has been part of our alliance for 50 years. In that time, you've violated more military protocols than any other member species. Your casualty rates are 3 times the galactic average. Your equipment failure rates are astronomical because you push everything beyond design specifications. She paused, her mandibles clicking in what humans had learned to recognize as deep thought. Yet in those same 50 years, you've won every major engagement you've participated in. You've saved more civilian lives than any fleet in Council history. And now you've accomplished what our combined forces could not. You've stopped the Void Swarm. Admiral Chen nodded. Reckless isn't the same as stupid, Counselor. We calculate risks differently. We factor in things your analyses don't. Desperation, inspiration, the willingness to sacrifice everything for something greater. We call it hope, General Webb added. Hope that the impossible might just be possible if you're willing to pay the price. Counselor Zeph's gaseous form swirled uncertainly. And if you're wrong? If your recklessness fails? Dr. Vasquez smiled, another of those unsettling human expressions. Then we fail spectacularly, learn from our mistakes, and try something even more impossible next time. Thrixon's translator couldn't render the sound she made, something between a laugh and a sigh. Perhaps, she said finally, the galaxy needs a little recklessness. Your methods may be unorthodox, but your results speak for themselves. She stood, her towering form casting shadows across the chamber. The Council hereby grants humanity expanded tactical autonomy in future operations. We cannot promise to understand your methods, but we can no longer deny their effectiveness. As the humans filed out, Thrixon heard Admiral Chen whisper to her companions. They called us reckless. If only they knew that was just us getting started. The Counselor's mandibles clicked again, definitely laughter this time. Perhaps the universe needed species who colored outside the lines, who saw impossible odds as merely another challenge to overcome. After all, in a galaxy full of calculated certainties, sometimes it took a little human recklessness to save everyone.